AirPods Pros, especially the second generation, are considered some of the top of the line earbuds in today's market. But JBL just released the JBL Tour Pro 2s, and it's time to consider whether or not they're better than the AirPods Pros. Let's put them side by side and figure that out. And let's talk tech. I'm Agent with Ardently Tech, and I reviewed both of these earbuds separately in their own reviews in our channel, so if you wanted to watch those reviews, they'll be linked in the description below where you can watch and click these cards right here. That said, this video is going to be pitting them side by side and seeing between some of the major features that we want from earbuds, which of these stand out and why they stand out from the other. So let's start with the specs and features and how much both of these cost. The Tour Pro 2s have true adaptive noise cancellation, their smart ambient, which is their transparency mode at JBL. They also have JBL Spatial sound, wireless charging and fast charging with USB-C, JBL's legendary Pro audio sound, 6 mics for calling. For battery life, you have 40 hours total, 10 hours in the buds, and 30 more hours with the case. If you turn on active noise cancellation constantly, that drops the battery life to 8 hours in the bud and 24 hours with the case. Also has in-ear detection, dual connect, which is their mono mode, which means that you can use both earbuds in mono mode separately. You also have multi-point connection on the Tour Pro 2s, which means these earbuds can connect to 2 devices at once, like your smartphone and your tablet, or your tablet and your laptop, or your laptop and your iPhone, whichever 2 devices you want to connect it to, that's possible here. It also has a Bluetooth 5.3 and connectivity to this JBL app, which there you can do this personified 2.0, which personalizes the sound for these earbuds for your ears. And of course, the Tour Pro 2 also has the smart case, which has a screen where you're able to customize your settings as well as adjust volume and do a few other things like skip songs or answer phone calls with the smart case. And the retail price is going to be the same as the AirPods Pros at $250. And the AirPods Pros obviously have active noise cancellation, transparency mode, spatial audio with head tracking. It charges by lightning cord still, unfortunately, but it also has regular wireless charging capabilities as well as compatibility with Apple Watch chargers and MagSafe chargers as well. As for battery life, you have up to 6 hours of listening on a single charge with the buds, and with the case you'll have an extra 30 hours. Just like the JBLs, the battery life will vary depending on how much active noise cancellation or other features that you use while using the AirPods Pros. They also have in-ear detection, mono mode, and Bluetooth 5.3 as well. And while the AirPods don't have a smart case per se, it does have AirTag technologies to be able to be tracked like AirTags are. It has a new speaker at the bottom for the AirPods Pro 2s to be able to play sounds, which may or may not be something you enjoy. I personally do. And as we all know, they retail at $250 as well. So let's start off with the fit and comfort of the earbuds as well as the cases themselves. I will say both of them fit very comfortably in my ear, and I enjoy them both for different reasons. The form factor of the AirPods Pros just have a bit smaller and more simple approach when it comes to the design. The Tour Pro 2s are a bit heftier looking. They actually still also fit really well. They just fit differently than the AirPods. And the one thing I really do enjoy about the fit of the Tour Pro 2s, which I've said in previous videos, is that when you put them in ear, they are virtually flat against your ear, and you don't really notice them unless you look to the side. Versus the AirPods Pros, you put them in, they're immediately noticeable. They do bulge out a little bit. They're not uncomfortable and it doesn't take away from its fit, but it is something that I think Apple wants to do, is have them be seen in ear. That said though, I do notice that the AirPods Pros fall out of my ear a little bit more than the Tour Pro 2s, especially when I'm working out. Mainly when I'm working out. For the most part, the AirPods Pros don't fall on my ear when I'm just listening casually or I'm working at work, but the Tour Pro 2s, because of the way they fit in your ear and the way they sit in your ear canal, really feel like these rarely have the same issue. That said, I don't know if there's a true winner between them two. They both sit comfortably in my ear and again, have its pros and cons for each. But if we're talking about what stays in my ear the most, I would say a slight leaning towards the Tour Pro 2s. As for the cases, they are pretty different. The AirPods Pro case did not change from the first generation AirPods Pros. Small, easy to pocket, and easy to carry around. That said, it also is sometimes easier to lose. I know a few friends of mine who have lost their AirPods Pros because One, they don't have a little keychain like I do, but they also just are so small and so compact, it is sometimes a little bit more easier to lose. The Tour Pro 2 on the other hand, good luck trying to lose this. It's a brick almost, but it's also super light. Even though the Tour Pro 2 case is large, it is large enough to be noticeable, but not large enough to be a pain in the butt. And sure, the AirPod Pros might seem a little bit smaller, it's a little bit more dense, but virtually it doesn't feel that much different. And if there's any difference, I think the AirPod Pro 2s are a little bit heftier. But enough about the fit, let's talk about the sound. For me, both of them sound great. I feel like the clarity of sound between podcasts, audio, movies, TV is most consistent on the AirPod Pros. Versus the Tour Pro 2s, though it still sounds great, I just have to choose the right equalizer setting. It's, I think, club that sounds best for podcasts in my opinion, or bass, or studio, one or the other. I don't know, it just wasn't talk. That said, the bass on the Tour Pro 2s I think is done really well. Other earbuds I've tried before, the bass tries too hard, or it is too heavy, or it's overpowering the sound, where I think the Tour Pro 2s I think do a really great job at delivering just the right amount of bass. And obviously, if you wanted it to really be bass heavy, you could adjust it to do so on the app, but the bass equalizer here is actually really good when you're trying to listen or hype yourself up at the gym. That's just my opinion. So if you're looking for consistency and not having to change things too much, AirPod Pros will be the winner there. But I do not want to take away from how good the Tour Pro 2s do sound, because they do sound really good. Again, I've said this before and I'll say it again, I am not an audiophile, so take that with a grain of salt, but that's just my experience. They both sound really good. As for active noise cancellation though, I will say that the AirPod Pros are still the top of the line. Though the Tour Pro 2s do come in as a nice second, the AirPod Pros are still somewhat untouchable. That said, if you have nothing compared the Tour Pro 2s to, it's really good. And as for transparency mode, the AirPod Pros I think is just completely untouchable. The Tour Pro 2's transparency mode is completely, weirdly, not good. Everything else about this, and I said this in the full review, it has this white noise and I notice it more now than I did before, especially when I go side by side with them. Like, oh, the difference in transparency mode is quite noticeable. Again, I don't know why that is. I don't know if the microphones are just messed up in mine, but it really takes away from that transparency mode. And the AirPod Pros, I've said this before and I'll say it again, it really just feels like you're listening with your own ears, and that's the impressive part. There are actually times with the adaptive transparency mode that is included on these AirPod Pros where I rather have them in ear while I'm out at the gym on transparency mode than actually just having no earbuds in my ear. Its ability to reduce loud sounds to a manageable level is really impressive, especially because it happens like that. Before I go on, if you enjoyed this video so far, make sure to leave a like, and if you enjoyed this video so far, make sure to subscribe to our channel. Here on Ardently Tech, we believe tech was made to make our lives easier, so we're here to help you discover and understand tech that improves your life. So if you're a fellow tech lover or someone who's ever been confused by tech, make sure to subscribe to our channel for more videos like this. And if you want to try either of these earbuds, make sure to use our affiliate links in the description below. We appreciate when you guys use those affiliate links, because when you do, we're able to do more videos like this. But now let's talk about battery life. The AirPod Pros on paper have 36 hours of battery life versus the 40 hours of battery life on the JBL Tour Pro 2s. And I would say the slight difference is in fact noticeable. AirPods do have that little feature where if your battery is going down to a point where it's about to die and you should probably charge soon, it does have a little sound indicator that will let you know, hey, it's time to charge it. But the Tour Pro 2s have a little battery life indicator on the case that tells you your exact percentage that you have, so you know, oh shoot, I got 40% or 45% right now. Obviously the battery on the Tour Pro 2s have been noticeably better, but the improvement from the first generation AirPod Pros is a great improvement for battery life, so I enjoy it, but the Tour Pro 2s definitely takes the cake for the battery life. As for the unique features of both of these earbuds, we've kind of talked about those features throughout this video, but let's start with the AirPod Pros. You have this little speaker that is very helpful and useful when it comes to battery life indication, and the AirTag technology to be able to find its precise location is actually also really great and useful. The ability to switch between my MacBook and my iPhone to my Apple TV to my iPad is really nice to have when it comes to having AirPods. That said, the Tour Pro 2s also have multi-point connection, so you can connect to 2 separate devices like I said earlier, but you'll still be limited to 2. Still pretty good. But where this really shines is that smart case. I will say the smart case at first really does seem like a gimmick, but I will say it is a very useful device to have, especially when you're like at the gym and say you're very easily distracted by your phone and you want to change your song. Instead of opening your phone, you can just simply go on here and switch your music. Super useful in that case. And if you lose your earbuds, you're able to find your earbuds individually using the case. But if you lose your case, you don't have that ability to find it like you can with the AirPods Pros. But both have its unique features. It's up to you whether or not that pins you towards one or the other. But at the end of it all, both of them are the same price. So which one would I recommend? Hard to decide which one is actually worth it, but I would say if you're gonna spend $250, I would go with the AirPods Pro 2s, especially if you have more than one Apple device. If you have one, that's fine. You can get an earbud that's not by Apple and still be happy with it. But where the AirPods Pro really do shine is, outside of its awesome features, is the ability to switch from device to device seamlessly. They're also trying to improve that in a software update later this year, so that's pretty great. That said, I do believe that these Tour Pro 2s will go down in price sometime soon. At least during holidays, it will go down on sale for maybe like around $170 or maybe even less, depending on the sale. So check that out and make sure you keep your eye out if that smart case is something that intrigues you. The AirPods Pro 2s also go on sale pretty often during the holidays. Check out Costco if you have one near you, especially under that $250 price, which is really great. That said, I think either of these would be a great addition to any headset lineup that you might have or want to use for everyday use. And I think there's not necessarily a wrong one, it's just one that fits best for you. So let me know, which one are you leaning towards to? Do you have one or the other? Are you considering one versus the other? Let me know in the comments below. And if you want to watch a full review on either of these earbuds, we have them in this playlist right here, so go check that out. Otherwise, you can watch any of the other videos on our channel over here, and we'll see you in the next one. Peace.